Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ashley Hurley with this week's LMU Tri-State News Update. First up, the man who robbed the cash register at the jewelry counter at Walmart remains in jail. LMU Tri-State News was on the scene when the alleged robbery took place and spoke with an eyewitness.
We come to get some fish and stuff, and we walked past the guy, and he was standing on the outside of the jewelry counter.
Okay.
And we walked right past him. He had a big cut on his nose.
What do you think he did? What did he allegedly do? What's he being blamed for today?
From what I've heard, he's been blamed for maybe stealing out of the cash register.
Rouse of Cumberland Gap is now facing the charge of aggravated robbery after he popped the register open with a knife and took all the money inside. Officers were on the scene within minutes, and the entrances to the store were blocked off, allowing no traffic in, and each vehicle that was leaving had to be searched. Rouse was located by officers less than an hour later, sitting behind a beer store, counting his money while drinking a beer he had just purchased. He was arrested and is charged with robbery, theft under $500, vandalism over $500, public intoxication, and use of a deadly weapon. He appeared in court Thursday, but the case has been reset until July 11th. He remains in the Claiborne County Jail on a $100,000 secure bond. A story that I have been following since the beginning of my career continues. One of the largest drug rings in Claiborne County was dismantled in November of 2010 after being in operation since June of 2009. Those defendants are still making their appearances in court. 63-year-old Jackie Mize of Forge Ridge is accused of conspiring to sell $3 million in opiates and sedatives for his involvement in what officers have labeled the pill mill operation. The group would gather at a home here in Claiborne County, then load up in the camper and rented vehicles, then travel Interstate 75 to Tampa, Florida. Once there, the group would split up, go to local pain clinics, purchase the drugs, then return to divide up their portion of the pills. The case against Mize is a spin-off investigation of the larger conspiracy led by now convicted ringleader, 38-year-old Trent Bussell of Tazewell. It is estimated that Bussell sold in excess of $6 million worth of drugs in the Claiborne County and surrounding areas. More than 50 defendants were arrested when federal and state agencies dismantled the cartel and seized property, vehicles, boats, and four-wheelers. Mize is facing a jury trial for his involvement with the group. The couple accused in the April robbery of the KFC in Tazewell face criminal court. 27-year-old Josh Shackelford of Harrogate and 25-year-old Michelle Noe of Tazewell are indicted for theft over $1,000. Noe is accused of providing information to Shackelford about deposit procedures. That is information that only she would have known. An investigation was launched and a search of their home was conducted on April 24th. Clothing and a mask believed to have been worn by Shackelford were located at the home, and he was arrested in connection with the incident. Noe told police she did not recognize Shackelford as the alleged robber, although she had lived with him, and he is the father of her toddler son. Both Shackelford and Noe appeared in Claiborne County General Sessions Court on May 23rd and waived their cases to the grand jury. A Claiborne County man who pulled off an elaborate scheme is now indicted by a grand jury. 22-year-old Steve Poore of Harrogate was arrested earlier last month for allegedly stealing a travel trailer and hundreds of thousands of dollars in gasoline and diesel. Poore operated a local printing business known as Tennessee Printing Corporation, or Signs by Steve. He was placed in the Claiborne County Jail with a $500,000 secure bond. He is indicted on the charge of theft under $500 and theft over $1,000. A Middlesboro man is facing first-degree burglary charges. 27-year-old Jerry Lee Marlowe was arrested after he assisted a female in breaking into a home Saturday. According to the report, Marlowe was the lookout to help the female break into the home and allegedly steal a firearm. Marlowe remains in custody at the Bell County Detention Center. A Middlesboro woman is facing assault charges following her arrest on Friday. 37-year-old Jennifer Smith was arrested and charged with second-degree assault. According to the report, Smith caused physical injury to the alleged victim by stabbing the man in the forehead with a butter knife. Smith remains in the Bell County Detention Center. In state crime, the state of Tennessee is rated the #1 in the country for meth with the highest number of labs. Lawmakers and law enforcement from across East Tennessee, district attorney, and state lawmakers are discussing alternative approaches to combating the meth abuse issue. According to officials, Tennessee has almost 1,400 felony meth offenders incarcerated, and in 2 years, more than 700 children were placed in DCS custody for meth-related issues. To cut down on the manufacturing of methamphetamine, Tennessee lawmakers are considering legislation to make pseudoephedrine available by prescription only. Now for a look at sports, let's turn to LMU Tri-State News sports reporter Adam Plyler.
Welcome to LMU Tri-State Sports. I'm Adam Plyler. The Lincoln Memorial University women's basketball team held a summer team camp last week for high schools in the Tri-State area. Teams from Claiborne, Bell, Harlan, and Lee counties, along with a couple teams from the Knoxville area, came to Tech Center Arena to show off some of their talents. Head coach for the Lady Rail Splitters, Roger Haas, says the summer camp is a great way to showcase LMU's facilities.
Obviously, it gives us a lot of exposure throughout the tri-state area. While all these kids, may not play college basketball, these are students who very well might end up being students at Lincoln Memorial. It gives them a chance to see campus and meet people. So it obviously gives the school a chance to showcase itself.
Individual camp for women's basketball begins June 17th. Staying in camp news, the LMU softball team had their individual camps this past week with athletes coming in from all over the country. Head coach Natalie Layden tells LMU Tri-State Sports the summer camps are a good recruiting tool to find future Lady Rail Splitters.
All right, yeah, we've got about 26 overnight campers, 31 total, and we're doing a lot of skill work, things like that, but we'll also play games in the evening so that way kids, feel like they've had a true chance to be recruited. Yeah, we're definitely not only trying to teach them a few things and have a good time with the game, but, also give them the opportunity to see what LMU softball is all about, get to know us a little bit better, get us out there in the community some, but also, it's a good recruiting tool for us and them. We've got kids from Michigan, Florida, South Carolina, all over the place on the East Coast, so, it really helps us in recruiting.
Layden is gearing up for her second year as head coach of the softball program. The men's and women's soccer team released their 2013 schedules last week with both teams facing off against quality competition. The men opened their schedule on the road and will play 4 non-conference road games to start the season. The Rail Splitters will open regular season play against Peach Belt Conference Phil Eckert on September 5th. The Lady Rail Splitters schedule includes 3 teams which qualified for the 2012 NCAA Division II Southeast Regionals. The Lady Rail Splitters hit the road for their first game on September 8th when they face off against Alabama Huntsville. 74 LMU student athletes were named to the 2012-2013 South Atlantic Conference Commissioners Honor Roll Wednesday afternoon. The women's soccer program led the way with 13 team members making the list. To qualify for the Commissioner's Honor Roll, student athletes must maintain a GPA of 3.30 or higher during the academic year. That's all for sports this week. Ashley, back to you.
The Tennessee Highway Patrol wants to remind parents that it is not safe to leave a child unattended in the car. Temperatures recently have been getting close to 90 degrees and above. THP reminds parents that for a child that can be intolerable and in some cases even deadly. You will see on your screen tips for keeping children safe this summer in the hot weather. Last year, 32 children died in hot cars nationwide, with 5 of those deaths occurring in Tennessee. Last June, 5-year-old Leland Bates and his 3-year-old brother, River Bates, died in Cleveland. The younger brother's core body temperature was measured at 109 degrees. Their mother, Tasha Bates, was criminally charged. 2 bridges remain closed in Claiborne County for their poor conditions. The Tennessee Department of Transportation closed the Tipwell Road Bridge that crosses Gap Creek and the Buchanan Ridge Road Bridge over Little Sycamore Creek. Claiborne County has 67 bridges and 38 have been inspected so far. 3 others have also been rated in poor conditions and have lane closures. The 3 bridges that have lane closures are on Old Highway 63 over Branch Road and Kaywood Branch, also on Providence Road over Keg Branch. Crews had to put large rocks on the bridge to prevent people from crossing it since residents were throwing cones into the creeks or stealing them. It is going to be a long process to get the bridges fixed, and the Claiborne County Commission will meet June 17th at 6:30 p.m. to discuss the bridge issue. The other 29 bridges in Claiborne County are scheduled to be inspected. The Claiborne County Animal Shelter is asking for your help to provide a puppy a new home. In April, students at TNT School in New Tazewell found a dog that had a broken leg. The dog, now named TNT, was taken to the animal shelter and operated on. Now TNT is ready to be adopted. If you would like to adopt TNT, you can contact the Claiborne County Animal Shelter at 423-626-2686 or go online to fill out the application for adoption at claiborneanimalshelter.com. The 2013 White Lightning Festival begins Friday, June 28th with the festival's kickoff celebration in Cumberland Gap's Burkall Park. Live music entertainment with Mackenzie Parton and J.R. Jackson will be held from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. The Tri-County Trio, who has performed at clubs and events throughout East Tennessee, will be the headline from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. The food vendors will be open with lots of great food. Bring your lawn chairs or blankets and help celebrate the opening of the award-winning 2013 White Lightning Trail Festival. Thank you for joining us for this week's LMU Tri-State News Update. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Ashley Hurley.